today. These are my two characters. So please count as a name. So Satya says, I'm most beautiful. And then Kahani says, no, 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 no. I'm most beautiful girl. And then the argument begins. Then they thought, how about if we take opinion from our villagers and then got to know that who is most beautiful girl? So they decide to do one activity. And the activity was that one by one, both girl will walk on the road. And the girl who will be able to make follow most of the villagers will be considered as a most beautiful girl. So contest began. And then Satya says, I would like to go first. Kahani says, you may proceed further. Satya, get ready. She put her anklet, she put her bangles, she wear a wonderful sari, and she put a tick on her head. And she put some perfume. And then she was very confident. And the moment she put her first foot in front of the house, everything happened totally opposite. She was thinking that entire villagers will started following her, but it is not happened. The person who was sitting on the tea stall having a sip of tea just moved her face. A farmer who was working on the field who was cutting the crops just reflect her eyes from Satya. Satya was worried. What happened? It was not supposed to happen. And she got anxiety. And what she did, when she feel I started losing, she did something else. She started putting off her clothes one by one. And again, things is totally opposite. Although there was a couple of people who were trying to reach Satya, look Satya, they have also hide their face. They back to their home, shut down the door and shut down the window, everything. Not a single person was following Satya. Satya understand that I have lost the battle. She started crying. Now it was turn of Kahani. Kahani get ready. She put the bangles on her hand. She put the anklet. She wear a wonderful sari. She also took a red colored shawl on his head. And then she started walking slowly, slowly, slowly. And the moment she started walking, the entire villagers started following her. And when Satya looked this situation, she got to know she has lost the battle. She has lost the contest. Then Kahani reached to the Satya. She said to Kahani, hey Kahani, Satya, what happened? Satya, with full of tears in her eyes, looks towards to Kahani and say, I'm not beautiful. Then Kahani says, no, 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 Satya, this is not like that. You are beautiful. But you need to understand in our current society, people don't want to see the truth, the Satya, and especially when it's negged. So if you want to reach out to the people, you have to hold my hand. Then Satya and Kahani both hold their hand each other, and then they started walking slowly, slowly, slowly. An entire village was following them. My dear Toastmasters family, what you have learned from this story? The lesson is simple. If you wanted that as a speaker, your truth should be learned by your audience, should be reach out to your audience, then you have to hold the hand of storytelling, right? So this is the first learning from the today's session. And you know, story, your story and your truth is just like a 24 karat gold. But if you wanted to shine him like a jewelry, everybody want to put, you have to present like a story. So I will talk more about on the story part, what is the storytelling, how you can practice your storytelling, what kind of a story we have in our society. But before that, with the for the help of our guests, let me introduce and let me talk about this segment of the Toastmaster meeting. So usually Toastmasters meeting is divided into three parts. First is prepared speeches. Second is impromptu speeches. And third and very most important part is evaluation part. But in today's session, we have some different segment. So in today's session, we have replaced table topic session from a session which is going to led by Mohit Sahini. So before I talk a lot about those things, I would like to request my co-MC of this role, Mr. General Evaluator, to talk about his role and his team player. So please help me welcome to introduce, and I would like to introduce our General Evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Vabo, a young, energetic, and one of our Sergeant Arm, our club. Toastmaster Vabo, welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. What a great way to start the meeting with the perfect story. It cannot be perfect. It could not have been perfect than this start. So, as a general evaluator, my role is to evaluate the entire meeting from the beginning to the very end. And to help me do so, I've got a tag team of three auxiliary role players. The tag team includes Timer, our accountant, and Grammarian. And what's special is that all the three role players are making their debuts as a role players in TMWD, and we can't wait to hear them out. And let me tell you that they will not come easy at you; they'll come very hard at you. They'll be very strict with their reports. So the first auxiliary role player I would like to invite is our timer for the day. Our timer is Toastmaster Sujay. Toastmaster Sujay is currently preparing for CAT 2021. He's having an experience of 3 years in actuarial domain and have cleared 5 actuarial papers. He has completed his graduation in BSc Mathematics Sciences. He basically hails from Jharkhand, and his hobbies include skating, traveling, writing poems, and watching web series. So with a big round of applause, let's have on stage Toastmaster Sujoy, who will be introducing his role for the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Weber. Hello, Toastmaster. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, as a timer, I will record each and every time of each and every individual who have prepared, who will be delivering their speeches and the table topic rounds. At The table topic speakers should limit their remarks to not more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will share the red card. And the speeches should be of 5 to 7 minutes in length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. And the individual evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will share the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will share the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will share the red card. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujoy. It was indeed a detailed explanation of your timer report, of your timing. And the next we have is our counter, who again, as I mentioned, is a debutant as a TMWD role player. She is Toastmaster Shweta Bansali. Toastmaster Shweta is a spiritual soul who is a PhD and a budding entrepreneur in nanotechnology. She is a mentor with NGOs mentored together in FEA. She loves to travel, read most of the times, write poems, and happy to be a volunteer for spreading love. So with a big round of applause, let's have on stage Toastmaster Shweta as an R counter.
Thank you. Thank you, TM Weber. And hello, everyone, all the Toastmasters, guests, and it's like amazing to debut with the AHA counter. And so as J.K. Rowling famously said, that there is always a room for a story that can transport people to another place. So obviously, I am waiting to be transported by the speakers today that can make me go, what a place I'm transported to. And without any delay, which can, in the transportation, which can make me go, oh, Oh no, why the delay? So the delay can happen with the unwanted words like, like what I'm also doing, and the filler sounds like what I did. So don't worry, I'm here to keep the track of those filler sounds and the unwanted words for the number of times each speaker will be using it. And I will be presenting my report towards the end of the meeting so that we are not having any delay in the transportation by the story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shweta. Uh, Again, what a detailed explanation of your counter role. And the final role player we have is Toastmaster Ashima. Toastmaster who will be playing the role of of grammarian. Toastmaster Ashima is a CA by profession, and she's currently working with KPMG in International Tax and Regulatory Department. She has joined Toastmasters to try new and different things and also to improve her orating and public speaking skills. And again, with a big round of applause, let's have on stage Toastmaster Ashima.
Thank you, TM Vaibhav, for such a beautiful introduction. Good morning to all my fellow Toastmasters. Hope you all are doing very well. And today I am the grammarian of the day. I am not sure if I'm qualified enough to judge anybody, but yeah, I'll try to give a constructive feedback and will try to highlight the good and the bad usage of the grammar. And I would also like to introduce the word of the day. So the word of the day, according to our theme, is anecdote. Anecdote. Everybody in their life have some anecdote, some incident, some stories to narrate, which takes them, as Shweta pointed out, which takes them to certain places in their life, which brings happiness or inspiration. So anecdote is basically a noun, which means a short or amusing, interesting story. So I would request you all to use this word during the meeting, and I'll be back with my report towards the last segment of our meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashima. Again, it makes me wonder if these guys are playing their role for the first time. And also, I'd like to add that there is a grace period of 30 seconds of each speakers and evaluators. So please keep that in mind, the timer of the day. And this is it from my side. I'll be presenting my grammarian report at the end of the meeting with my tag team, of course. So I'd now like to pass on the stage to the team out of the day again, that is Toastmaster Jiten. So let's have on stage Toastmaster Jiten.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator and your entire team for supporting us and helping us with this segment. So we all are storytellers, right? Since our childhood, we used to listen to stories from our grandma, from my mother. Sometimes our brothers are also telling the story. So that means storytelling and listening a story is the one of the first thing which we have learned. And if you have never ever get chance to talk about yourself with an audience or with a group of people, that means you are a storyteller. And in today's session, we have two new storytellers, new speakers who are going to debut their Toastmaster journey while sharing delivering their first and icebreaker speech. So before calling them and introducing their evaluator, I would just like to remind everyone that in Toastmasters, if anyone is delivering their icebreaker speech, so we are giving them standing ovation. So please remember this important point. So with that note, I would like to start the speech session. And today we have two speakers, Toastmaster Chetan Goyal, and the second speaker is Toastmaster Anubhav Somani. So we will start. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Chetan Goyal. Before calling him on the stage, I would request his evaluator, Toastmaster Gaurav, to please share the objectives of his speech with our audience. Over to you, Toastmaster Gaurav.
Thank you, Jitender, for this warm introduction. And the objective of the speaker, although he is icebreaker speech, and for that, the purpose is to give introduction and know how to prepare a well-drafted speech. And I would like to give all the best, and the time for speech is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for stating the objectives. So, Toastmaster Chetan Goel is going to deliver his project one from level one, and his path name is dynamic leadership. If I talk about Toastmaster Chetan, he is CA by profession and a marathon runner by passion. His speech title is "Who Am I?" So please help me welcome Toastmaster Chetan Goel on the stage. Who am I, Toastmaster Chetan Goel? Toastmaster Chetan Goel, who am I? Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to just check, am I audible? Okay, sure. Uh, Fellow Toastmasters and guests, wish you all a very warm good morning. Hope all of you are keeping safe. So I'm here to deliver my first speech, the icebreaker speech. So I'll begin. I'll request the timer to please begin the clock. Who am I? Who am I? Do I really know who am I? The answer to this question can get as complex as we can possibly imagine. But let me first start by introducing myself, telling a few facts about myself. So I'm Chetan Goyal, a simple yet courageous boy who grew up in Delhi, went on to graduate from Hansraj College, and then went on to become a chartered accountant. Obviously, that was a life-changing moment for me. I became a chartered accountant. Along the way, I've picked up a lot of passions and hobbies. As team out of the day Jitendra mentioned, I have a passion for running. I've participated in a couple of marathons, half marathons, and one day I aspire to participate in an Ironman championship. An Ironman championship it's a collective event of three sports, which is swimming, running, and cycling. And one day I aim to participate. That's my life goal, to participate and successfully complete one Ironman championship. So that was about me. But who am I? Who am I? Do I really know myself? Who am I? These three words have rattled the greatest minds in the world. I'd like to quote Lord Buddha at this point. We are, I quote, sorry, we are what we think. All what we are arises from our thoughts. I unquote. So who really am I? I like to take on this question through a philosophical lens and embark on on a journey of introspection. So who am I? I think I am a dreamer. All actions begin with dreams. I dream big. I dream to bring about some conspicuous changes in this world. But I'm a believer too. I believe in my dreams. I believe in the power of me. I believe I can make my dreams come true. I'm a doer and I'm a learner too. I believe in action. I believe in acting. I believe in proactive action. Procrastination is my enemy. And I'm a learner too. I've made my share of mistakes throughout my life, but I've learned from them. I act, I fall down, but I learn from them and I move ahead. I'm like the sun. No matter how dark the night was, the sun always rises the next day with the same radiating rays. Like the sun, I refuse to, I refuse, I refuse to give up. Every morning, I wake up with the same level of enthusiasm, with the same passion to achieve my dreams, to believe in them, and to act. I'm like the river. I like to forge my way across stones and forests and carve out a way for myself. I like to tread on a path that has not been trodden by anyone else before. I'm like those birds. I refuse to be captivated at the whims of anyone else. I do what I believe in. So who am I? I'm a manifestation of thoughts. Who am I? A million things I am and a million things I will be. What I refuse to be is, what I vehemently refuse to be is nothing. So, so the journey to unravel those million things and the discovery of who am I still continues. So I've not been able to discover myself as of yet, and the journey to discover who am I continues till date. Before I end my speech, I'd like to leave you all with a thought. I'd like to leave all of you pondering as to who are you. So that's all from my side. Thanks a lot, everyone, for hearing me out so patiently and providing me with this opportunity to present my speech. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chetan. It was really very amazing speech.
You are unmute. Jitendra, you are unmute.
Thank you, Monish. So now we'll take a minute to give our very special and very important feedback to the speaker. So timer, please start now and let me know once 1 minute is done. You can share your feedback to Toastmaster Chetan on his personal window. If you have his WhatsApp number, you can WhatsApp your feedback. I hope, Chetan, you are receiving feedback from everyone.
Hello, Toastmaster Jiten. 1 minute is over.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster timer of the day. So how many of have heard that speech, Martin King Luther's speech, I have a dream? How many of you heard that speech or you know about that speech?
I have.
If you know, can you please put yes in chat box? Yep, thank you, Shweta. Thank you, Shalu. Yep, Mohinish. I believe everyone is know about that speech. So today, while Chetan was speaking, he resonate like that speech. He started using who am I, who am I, who am I, like he used to do. I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. And do you know this style? This style is called anaphora in storytelling function. This is one of the oldest form when storytellers are using, while they're repeating their important point during their speech, during their stories, so that people can resonate, people can understand what important information storyteller or speaker wanted to deliver. So that is something resonated me while he was speaking today. Okay, so now moving to our next speaker, our next storyteller, Toastmaster Anubhav Somani. Before calling him on the stage, I would request his evaluator, Toastmaster Abhishek, to please help us with his speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek.
Good morning, Toastmasters, guests, and a special good morning to Toastmaster Anubhav. Toastmaster Anubhav will be delivering his icebreaker speech, and the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and know the basic structure of the club of the public speech. I wish him all the best. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Abhishek.
Toastmaster Abhishek. Yeah, I think it was Anubhav. Right, Anubhav?
Yes.
Give me a minute. Just wanted to introduce you in front of our Toastmaster audience. So Toastmaster Anubhav Sumani is pursuing his CA course by profession, and he loved music. He also run YouTube channel of playing synthesizer, I believe. Sorry,
Synthesizer.
Synthesizer. Thank you. And he also wanted to become a public speaker. His project is innovation planning. He's going to deliver his project 1 from level 1, and his speech title is Roadmap Journey. So Toastmaster Anubhav, Roadmap Journey, Toastmaster Anubhav. You can begin now.
Thank you, Abhishek, and thank you, Timot, for such a warm introduction of mine. So, I would like to ask if I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible and visible.
Okay, that's great. So, I would like to start. As said by Timot, that so timer, you can start. As said by Timot, that storytelling is the basic of starting a good speech. So I would like to start by giving a storytelling itself. Someone once said, if you speak, you influence. You influence, you change the world. Good morning, everyone. I'm Anubhav Somani, and here I am in front of you today to walk you through the different phases of my life. I have divided my life into 3 main phases. The first one is an amicable innocence. It was a pleasant morning, and as the clock struck 9:50 a.m., the nurse came out and said, "Oh, it's a boy." And the whole hospital was filled with laughter and joy. I was the center of attraction at everyone's eyes because I was the first child in the family. I was loved and nurtured and cared by everyone. And whatever I did, bring a smile at everyone's face. Like a kid, I too used to run behind my own shadow and catch the bubble before it bursts. But this happiness of mine was short-lived when I was introduced to the second phase of my life, which I call it as a clueless introvert. I was an introvert kid from the beginning of my childhood, which seemed as an obedient student in the eyes of teacher. But in the back of my mind, I had very notorious ideas where I used to run back to home whenever the van would come to pick me up. As an obedient kid, I was given with several opportunities to present myself, but I used to step back, and this created a comfort zone for me. I wasn't aware that this might create several problems for me in order to develop my communication skills. Moving ahead in the schooling journey of my life, like every other kid, I too was struck with the dilemma to choose between commerce or science. I was seeing my father as my role model, who is a chartered accountant by profession. So, like we say, like father, like son, I too went with commerce and went ahead with this CA journey. But I had a keen interest in science, where I was considered one of the topper in class. But I chose to become a CA because I had seen a lot of respect and industry-wise respect of my father. Moving ahead, moving to the third phase of my life. And here I am now in front of you today to start the new journey of my life. As I have now realized my shortcomings and I'm trying to overcome it. I too attended some of the sessions which are conducted by our institute in order to improve our orientation and soft skills. I too tried to improve it by attending the certification course by some of the recognized institutes like the British Council. And as now I stand here in front of you today to start the new journey of my life, the Toastmasters. So, as we say that the storytelling is the basis of our every speech. So, in order to conclude, I would like to wind up by saying that we don't have to become great to start, but we need to start to become great. I have started. Did you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anubhav, for sharing your Anubhav with us, your experience with us. Now we will take a 1 minute time to provide our valuable feedback. So timer, you can start now, please. And while you are giving your feedback, just a small reminder that today's word of the day is annotate. So please try to use while you are speaking, like I have used now. I hope Toastmaster Anubhav, you are receiving feedback from all the members. These feedbacks are really very important and it always helps any speaker to grow.
Hello, Toastmaster Jiten. 1 minute is over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujay. So we are done with the speech part. And in today's meeting, we are not going to do table topic session. So we have one special session. So that session we will be do and the end part of the meeting. So in this meeting, we are going to do our evaluation section right after the speech session. But before moving to the evaluation session, just wanted to know from all of you, how many wanted to know that what kind of professions one can take once you will become a storyteller? You can type in chat box yes if you wanted to know that. Or you can unmute yourself and say, yeah, I wanted to know that. Thank you, Toastmaster Munish.
Yes, I want.
Yes,
Thank you,
I want to
Vishal.
know
Thank you, Imanshu.
why not? Why not?
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to talk about the 4 oldest profession about the storytelling. First, I have already talked about the anaphor, where I have talked about the speaker or storyteller repeat their important points to make their audience, their listener, to understand the key message. So that was the first one. Second, if you are a good storyteller, you can also get chance in movies, because you must have seen in nowadays there is a voiceover in every movies. In Three Idiots there was a voiceover. In Eklavya movie there was a voiceover. So if you are a good storyteller, you have that impact on voice. You could be a good. You can get chance in movies as well. The third one is, which is very popular, that is called puppetry, and you all must have seen, and especially those who have get chance to visit Rajasthan. There are some puppets. People are using those puppets, and then in background there is a story going on. So that is the third one. And the fourth one, which is the one of the oldest storytelling method, is dastan goi. And this is a Persian word that's come from the Persia, and it's become a word from dastan. You must have listened that song, sun ki ye dastan kho gaye tum kahan. By listening this, where you have forgotten everything. So this is the one of the oldest professions that once used. And let me talk about the dastan goi a little bit more. In this form of the storytelling, the storyteller talk about one individual who have sacrificed or who have stand against all the odds to save his or her society, to save his or her country. If you have seen 300 in movies, so there was a last soldier who left, who went back and who shared the dastan, the story, to make them understand that how 300 soldiers has fought with a huge Persian army. Also, during our freedom fighter time, when we were in 1947 or 40s world, these people, these Dastan Goi are used to visit village to village, city to city, and they were talking about our freedom fighters like Chandrasekhar Azad, like Bir Bhagat Singh. So these, and that's why the ruler of that time, the British, they have asked and they have forbidden any Dastan Goi to be in India. So these are the four oldest profession that you can learn about them. Now with that, to learn how we can improve, I would like to invite our general evaluator of the Toastmaster Weber to proceed further with the evaluation section. Over to you, Toastmaster Weber.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. But Mohit's session was before that, before me, right? Before the general evaluator section, if I'm not wrong, according to
Okay,
the time
so
chart.
yep, time short, but I got to know. So how you we would like to? I think Mohit is also running late, so he will be able to join at 11:30, and due to
No
some
issues.
personal commitment, so we can start our general evaluation session.
No problem. No issue.
Okay, thank you, Web.
So thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. Now it's time for our evaluation section. Firstly, I'd like to call our first evaluator for the day, who will be evaluate. That is Toastmaster Gaurav, who will be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Chetan. So Toastmaster Gaurav, the virtual stage is all yours. Over to
Thank
you,
you.
Toastmaster Gaurav.
Thank you, Vaibhav. First of all, it is an icebreaker speech. We should understand the meaning of icebreaker speech. Icebreaker is a word right from English, and it means a phrase that a ship designed to break through ice in frozen canals at sea. We can interpret in our life it as ice. Ice stands for tension. How can we break this ice? We break this ice through giving speech in between for that introduction in unfamiliar environment. So the purpose of icebreaker speech is nothing but to give introduction, to be familiar with the unfamiliar environment, and the purpose is well achieved by the speaker. He gives the speech, and by the name itself, who am I? Who am I is a self-explanatory meaning that the speaker is going to give an introduction. And the second thing is the question mark, the content. The content is well drafted if we compare it with an icebreaker speaker. We can't believe that it's his first speech. He is well drafted and the confidence level is very good. But talk about the content. He mentioned that he is dreamer, believer, learner, and procrastination is enemy and journey still continue. Film abhi baki hai mere dost. The question mark which he used at the end of question, who am I, is the deciding factor in all our lives. And coming to the recommendation, many times it is seen that he closed the hands. It shows the nervousness for the speaker. And second is unnecessary pauses taken by him in between the speech. Maybe he forget the speech, but try to overcome with this next time. And the last but not least, when you opportunity came to you, try to grab it as much as possible. The time taken is 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and the total time available is 6 minutes and 30 seconds. You can speak for more 1 minute and try to explore more about yourself. And at the end, the biggest speech And the biggest fear in the world is stage fear. And he very well managed the fear. And I wish congratulations and all the best to Chetan for his future speech. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gaurav. Now it's time. I like to call the second evaluator for the day, that is Toastmaster Abhishek, who will be evaluating the speech of another icebreaker, Toastmaster Anubhav. Toastmaster Abhishek, the virtual stage is all yours.
Leap and the net will appear. Toastmaster Anubhav leaped into his Toastmaster journey with an icebreaker, and I must say that he landed gracefully. Good morning, Toastmasters. Toastmaster Anubhav hit the nail on the head with a proper beginning with a quote: if you speak, you influence, you change the world. He categorized his speech very well into an introduction, a body with 3 phases of his life, and an ending with a quote. I personally believe that your speech is like a box of chocolate, and the gift wrap of your chocolate box is like the title of your speech. You could have made the title more engaging so that the audience could have been more curious about it. Coming on to the second thing, Toastmaster Anubhav was very confident. He was well prepared. There was a good eye contact with the audience. And there were proper transitions from one phase of his life to the another phase of his life. Although the first phase of his life was very engaging with proper examples, but the second and the third phase of life could have been made more engaging with some sort of examples and a storytelling like feeling. All in all, it was a very good icebreaker speech, and I wish him all the best for his future projects. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhishek, for such a wonderful evaluation. Now, should we conduct the polling first, or should we move on to the auxiliary role players evaluation? I'd like to ask the
Tech Master, can you please help?
Yeah, sure. So should I launch the speaker poll first?
Yeah, I guess we can launch the speakers poll first.
Okay, sure.
The best speaker poll. Before that, I'd like to ask the timer, is there any disqualification?
Hello. Yes, there is a yes, there is a disqualification. Toastmaster Abhishek took 1 minute 14 seconds. So
that is for the evaluators, right?
Yes.
Okay, we'll come to that later.
And
request everyone to please cast.
There are no disqualifications.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmasters. I request everyone to please cast their vote. Are we done, Toastmaster Vishal?
No, I can see 17 votes casted as we are 24 members, 6 more to go. I request all the members to please participate. 18 now. Okay, it's almost done. Now, should I launch the evaluator poll?
Yes, Toastmaster Vishal. I think Toastmaster Jay mentioned that Toastmaster Abhishek is unfortunately disqualified. So I think we don't need to launch the poll, or should we?
So I think Gaurav is there now.
Right then, I think we should proceed to the auxiliary role players evaluation part, right? So with this, I'd like to first call our first auxiliary role player for their evaluation. That is Toastmaster Sujoy, who will be presenting his timer report. With a big round of applause, let's have on stage Toastmaster Sujoy for his timer report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Weber. So present on the timer roll, I have noted down some times of the speakers and the general evaluators and all. So there are no disqualifications except Toastmaster Abhishek, who took 1 minute 14 seconds. And coming back to first speaker of the speech, Toastmaster Chetan, he took 4 minutes 57 seconds. Speaker 2, Anubhav Somani, took 4 minutes 17 seconds. And Toastmaster Gaurav took for the first evaluation, that is of Chetan Goel, and Toastmaster Abhishek took 1 minute 14 seconds for evaluating Anubhav Somani. And we are running 2 to 3 minutes late, and that's fine. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujoy. Now I'd like to call our counter for the day. That is Toastmaster Shweta, who will be presenting her our counter report. So Toastmaster Shweta, the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Weber. First of all, it was a aha storytelling, and amazing it was. Like, I love the speech given by Chetan Goel, but as going by my role, I have to say what was like used, but was used a lot of times. Okay, in your speech, and before, and I repeat was repeated 2 or 3 places, and there were few pauses as already mentioned by your evaluator. But all in all, I also have a dream. So it was really amazing, and loved your speech. Going to the second speaker, Anubhav Somani. I'm sorry, but going by my role, I have to say what was repeated. So you have done a lot of times. It was repeated, this sound, and end was repeated at least 7 to 8 times in your speech while telling something about yourself. And and also I can talk about the evaluators also, no? Right? Okay. So evaluator 1, Gaurav, yours end was repeated 10 to 12 times while you were giving the evaluation. And as I have to be a good listener, so I was listening with that. And through was also repeated. These 2 words were repeated a lot of times. And evaluator 2, Abhishek, your evaluation was very smooth. And all the rest of the role players, kudos to you. Nothing about from AHA counter. But yes, I cannot end without saying Shweta, TM Shweta, I was repeated a lot of times. Thank you. Back to you, TM Weber.
Amazing, Toastmaster Shweta. Amazing. Now it's time for the final role player, that is Grammarian. So I'd like to invite Toastmaster Ashima to present her grammarian report and also tell the number of counts the word of the day was used. So Toastmaster Ashima, the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you, Weber. Thank you for giving me the stage. So I'd like to go ahead first with the good usage of the vocab. So there were words like courageous, vehemently, pondering, amicable, innocence, notorious. These were nice words that were used during the speech and during this meeting. Now the good usage of phrases. So forge my way through the mountains. It was a nice phrase. Trade on the path that was not being trodden. That is another nice phrase. Then manifestation of thoughts. Hit the nail on the head. These were all the nice phrases that we used. So now I would like to highlight some not so good usage of the grammar. So whenever we use the third form of the superlative degree, that most, so we should use the most. Then there was a give all the best. We should rather use wish all the best. Everyone know, everyone knows. In front of you, in front of all of us, or in front of all of you. Then there was some certain difficulties in speaking the word anxious, I think. And that's all about it. Coming back to the usage of the word of the day, I did not hear it. Apart from TMOD spoke it once or twice. So request you to please utilize it during the rest of the meeting. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashima, for such a detailed grammarian report. It didn't even felt like that these guys are playing their roles for the first time. Like veterans are making their debuts. Now I think it's time that we launch the poll for the best auxiliary role player. I'd like to request Toastmaster Vishal to please launch the polls. Before that, I'd like to ask Toastmaster Sujay that is there any disqualification? Well, everyone is qualified.
No, everyone is qualified.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sujay. So I think we can proceed with the polling.
19 members casted their vote. 2 more to vote. 4 more to vote. Okay.
We are done, Toastmaster Vishal.
Yes, we are done. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Vishal. I can see the distribution of gift coupon, 250 rupees. And it's time for me to start. I think it's time for me to give my general evaluation report for the entire meeting. So starting with Toastmaster Mohinish, he's back and back with the bang. He started the meeting well on time, mentioned all the rules and regulations of the club very clearly. He handed over the club to the acting president of the day, Toastmaster Kanika, who, like always, enthusiastically started the meeting with greeting everyone and also applauded everyone for the accolades the club has received in the last week or so, which sets the and applauding everyone sets the tone for the entire meeting. So kudos to Toastmaster Kanika for that. Then she went ahead with the guest introduction. And after that, it was time for the Toastmaster Jitendra's team out session. He started as the theme suggests with a story about two girls and narrated like a perfect storyteller. A slight recommendation here was, though Toastmaster Jitendra already mentioned beforehand that the timings would increase, but sometimes if you increase the timing of your storytelling, it gets a bit monotonous. So probably we could have worked on that. Apart from that, it was an amazing story. The team told us, everyone enjoyed it. Again, kudos to Toastmaster Jitendra for that. And after that, it was general evaluation section where I introduced all the three auxiliary role players, timer, our counter, grammarian, and I've already mentioned a number of times that they played their roles really well. After that was speeches of our two icebreakers, that is of Toastmaster Chetan and Toastmaster Anubhav. Both of their speeches were really amazing. But one thing I'd like to recommend to both of them, as Toastmaster Gaurav also mentioned to Toastmaster Chetan, that you can leverage your timings as well. Your timing of an icebreaker is 4 to 6 minutes, and I saw that as soon as the green card arrived, your speech ended. So you can use your timings to your advantage. Now it's time for me to evaluate both the evaluators, Toastmaster Gaurav and Toastmaster Abhishek. So Toastmaster Gaurav started with a build-up of what an icebreaker should be. Again, I feel that it could have been curtailed. It stretched a little too far. He was equal on the commendation and the recommendation size. He praised for the content, the question mark the speaker added, whereas he recommended the way he mentioned he mentioned about leveraging the timing, as I earlier mentioned. He also asked the speaker to use more pauses. The speech was high on energy, again, which Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned, and that was all from Toastmaster Gaurav's evaluation. Toastmaster Abhishek, as always, this is his forte. He starts with the quote, which he did this time as well. But Toastmaster Abhishek was unfortunately disqualified. Again, he could have added more of commendations and recommendations. He ended with 2 commendations and 1 recommendation. He could have added a lot. He could have added both of them to his list. Now coming to the grammarian, Toastmaster Sujay presented his timer report very clearly, mentioned all the timings, presented his timer report all the time when it was necessary. Toastmaster Shweta, we all love the creativity she added in her counter report, didn't we? And she also added a tool of humor, which we all enjoyed. Toastmaster Ashima as grammarian mentioned all the good uses and phrases, and also noted all the areas of grammatical, all the areas of where we could improve in our grammatical part. So this is it from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for a very detailed report. And I must say you have covered almost everything in CRC manner. That is really amazing. Kudos to you. Just wanted to confirm Toastmaster Mohit had joined us as he was running late. Mohit, are you there? Because the next special session will be conducted by Toastmaster Mohit. I believe he haven't joined yet. Techmaster, can you please confirm if you can see Toastmaster Mohit? Mohit. Otherwise, I have a lot of things to discuss, so I can cover up in between.
Jitu, maybe you should continue. Let me speak to Mohit and check where he's.
Okay, Sanjeevji, thank you for confirming. So as of now, you have seen a storytelling. I have tried to do that. You also know about that, what kind of professions you can take if you will become a good storyteller. So now tell me, how many of you wanted to know how we can practice storytelling? If you wanted to learn, please type yes in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and say, yes, I wanted to learn that.
Yes.
Yay!
Great, Shweta. Thank you.
Surely I
Thank you,
want to learn
Manish.
this.
I can see everybody is typing yes. That means you really wanted to learn these skills. So I'm not going to tell you very much technically something which will be very difficult to understand. I'm just going to tell you that to become a good storyteller, you need to learn how to do voice modulation and how to visualize the things during your storytelling. So talking about the voice modulations, while you're talking with any kids, your tone is different. While you're talking with your friends, then your tone is totally different. And when you're talking with your boss, your tone is totally different. And while you're talking to your wife, again, your tone is different. So these are the some situations when we are already practicing the voice modulation. But when it comes to emphasize and inculcate in our speeches, we forget to do that. So what you need to do that, you just need to analyze these situations, that how your voice modulation is happening naturally in different situations. The second is how to visualize the thing. So for that, you can read stories. And while you are reading those story, try to visualize the situation of the characters. What will be his facial expression while someone is scrolling him? How he will be resonate himself, or you can resonate himself while he's motivating someone else. So while you are reading those story, try to live with those character and visualize yourself and behave like that character. So this small practice will help you to become a good storyteller. And you know, at the end of the session, I'm going to share with you 9 emotions. Yes, 9 emotions that we use or any storyteller use in their story to make his story impactful, connecting. So this is something I'm going to share you. But before that, I need to cross check if Mohit is back. And if not, then we can continue. As I mentioned, I have a lot of things to share today because today's topic is about storytelling. So while Mohit is joining, anyone would like to try a story for a 1-minute story? Let's see how you are using your voice modulation, your facial expression. Anyone from audience would like to try?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, Mohinish, go ahead.
Any story? Should I
Yep.
reveal any story?
But try to keep it simple and short.
Can you give me any situation?
You are disappear all of the sudden from our group.
Oh,
Create
yes.
some fun. Yeah.
You know, that was really unfortunate what happened. Actually, how can I tell you? Guys, I was abducted by aliens. You will not believe. I know this is completely ridiculous, but I really was abducted by aliens. I was going for a shopping, and suddenly the UFO appeared on my head, and the rays shined, and I didn't know what to do. I just stood there, and as soon as I thought that this is an alien ship, I started running, but they caught me, and I tried to struggle and run away, but I couldn't, Jitu. That was a horrible, but somehow I did some tricks, some Tom Cruise style of escaping, and I finally escaped. That was it.
Great Toastmaster Moinis. Can I request everyone to clap for him? A very good use of facial expression, voice tone, and you also use your hand gesture, body language. That's a good example. Thank you so much. And I believe Mohit is back. He has joined us. So now I would like to request him to start the next session, which is the special session on the EC meeting. Mohit, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi,
Okay, so
Toastmaster
please,
Jitu.
yeah, please give me a minute. I would like to introduce. So Toastmaster Mohit is going to conduct a special session based on the EC role and responsibility. As you all know, that EC election is around the corner. He is area director, past area director, and he has got elected as a division director. So congratulations, Toastmaster Mohit, for that. And about his storytelling technique, he is a wonderful storyteller. How I can tell you that? Because I can still remember one of his story during his speech when he talked about why and when and how he had learned dancing. So that I still, so story help you to be remembered by your audience for a long time. So now I would like to hand it over to Toastmaster Mohini to conduct the further session. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohini.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitendra. Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you all doing? Good, good. I would like to request the Tech Master to give me the share access. Okay, so like Toastmaster Jitendra was saying, we are here to know a little bit more about the EC officers' roles, but really we are actually here to talk about us. I'm here to talk about you. You know, that's what this session is really all about. Forget about the EC officers, forget about anything else. It's really about you. Let me ask you all a question. Why are you here today? What brings you to Toastmasters?
To learn public speaking skills, to enhance our leadership skills, and to do the networking.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, public speaking, networking, leadership. Anybody else would like to share why you are here? Why did you join Toastmasters? What brings you to these meetings?
So I would like to say that to self-express myself.
To be able to express yourself. Wonderful. Yes.
To increase confidence.
Sujay says it's to increase confidence. Absolutely. Yes. Those are all right answers. And
remove
what?
fears.
Sorry?
Remove fears.
To remove our fears. Yes, that's such an important thing. We all have these fears which we have to overcome, and Toastmasters is one place where we can be ourselves. We can, in front of an audience which is so mutually supportive, they give us the right kind of support to bring out the best in us, right? Anybody else has any views about why Toastmasters or what brings you here to these meetings?
Mohit, I'd like to say to spend some quality time, like rather than just wasting the time on Sunday mornings in other activities. I think we spend a quality time here in Toastmasters.
Absolutely, we spend a good time here in Toastmasters. Okay, so all of those are your answers, all right answers, but the one common thread, something that ties it all together, is that we all want to grow. We want to grow, we want to become better human beings, we want to become better performers, we want to excel at our workplace, excel in our relationships, in our personal lives as well. Isn't it true? You can show me a thumbs up if you think that is the right thing to do. And in the session that happens going forward, if you have any question at any point in time, or if you want to answer a question that I ask, you can give me a raise of hand using the Zoom emoticon, and I will be happy to get the mic to you. Okay, so we are all here for growing. So that's exactly the reason why I named this session as play a game you can win. We are all here because we want to grow. Now, growth in itself, if we look at that word growth, it's a very high level word, right? It could mean a very generic kind of statement. In in English, there's a word called platitude, which just implies that it's a very high level understanding. So growth in itself is a very higher level understanding. If we really have to grow, we have to delve deeper into that word and understand what does that really mean for us. And that would take that platitude into, so from to deep level understanding. And in order to do that, there are 3 questions that you have to ask yourself. 1, what does growth mean to you? 2nd, how would you know? And 3rd, what do you see? Right? So when I say, what does growth mean to you, you have to be able to convert it into something which is tangible, right? You could say, for example, that I want to get promoted in my career, or I want to change my domain from quality assurance to project management, right? That is what growth means to me, right? That's an example. How would you know? Is if you would know that if you see that you're getting opportunities to move in that direction, right? So you're getting a step up role, then you would know that you're going in the direction of becoming a manager, for example. And what do you see is you see yourself being able to come out of difficult situations more easily. You see that people are giving you good feedback and things like those. So I would like each one of you to spend 30 seconds and write this down for yourself. And I would request timer to let us know when 30 done. Write it down on a sheet of paper. What does growth mean to you? How would you know? What do you see? You can imagine the next, say, 6 months to a year, and then answer this question for yourself.
Hello, Toastmaster Mohit. 30 seconds are over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sajay. I hope everybody had jotted down some points around what does growth mean to you, how would you know, and what do you see. Keep this handy because we want to keep this in mind when we cover the rest of the session, right? And the idea is that your growth, whatever your definition could be, how can Toastmasters help you in achieving that growth for yourself, right? So let's try and find that out. Now let's see how much do we already know. Well, show me your hands if you can answer this question. How many EC officers are there in total? Does anybody know here? You want to raise your hands?
Mohit, existing EC team members should be barred from answering.
They should be barred from answering. Okay, sure.
Even ex-members also.
Okay. You expect them to know for sure. So that's why you're saying that. Okay, fair enough. I see a lot of people are actually probably new Toastmasters. Can we first of all, let's see how many of us are already have been Toastmasters for 6 months or less. If you are a Toastmaster for 6 months or less, show your hand, raise your hand. Because I'm not even sure if you would know what EC officers really means over here, right? If you are so new. Okay, I don't see any raise of hands. So that means that everybody has been a Toastmaster for over 6 months, in which case I would expect you all to know what EC officers means. And does anybody want to take a guess? There are some raise of hands. That's good to see. Ashima, Sweta, Sujay have raised their hands. So let us go with the okay, let's go with Ashima. Sorry, do we let's go with Anup. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ashima this side.
Hi Ashima, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, can you please repeat?
How many EC officers are there in total in a club?
There's a president, there's staff, there's treasurer, then there's VP education. So I guess 4.
Okay, I think there are 4 EC officers in any club. Okay, but you did mention the 4 correctly. There are the
There
answer
is
is
some
not right.
creative person also who used to make all the posters. So 5. Right. I'll add 1.
Okay, so there are 5 according to you, including a creative person. Okay, let's find out from some other people who did raise their hand. Anubhav.
Hello.
Yeah, Anubhav.
Audible?
Yes.
I think there are 8 members in an EC team.
Okay, that's great. Do you want to name each one of those roles?
Yeah, I would like to name. The first one is the president. Second is the vice president for education, vice president membership, vice president public relation, second treasurer, SEA, that is sergeant at arms, and one could be the past president.
Ah, wonderful. Let's have a round of applause for Anubhav. That's precisely the right answer. Anubhav, are you already a member of Toastmasters Club of West Delhi?
Yes.
Okay, and how long has it been for you in Toastmasters journey?
I have joined this month.
Okay, okay. It's great to see that you already know quite a lot about the executive committee. It's really impressive. Thank you. You will get your prizes soon from Sanjeev, our president. Okay, how many times are EC elections conducted each year?
2 times.
Let's see. How many times, and how many times is the EC elections conducted each year?
2 times.
2 times.
Okay, and when is that?
So in
January and July.
January and July.
Absolutely. Okay, January. So January is when the term starts. Do you think the election also happens in January and July, or does it have to happen earlier?
I think earlier to July it will happen, and earlier to January it will happen. Then only the term will start, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the right answer. So we are in June right now. We have to ensure that we have the executive committee formed for the tenure starting July. So therefore, the elections and the entire process is going to happen ahead of July, in June. How many of you have received the email which has been sent out regarding the upcoming elections? Can we have a show of hands there? Okay, I see only 3 hands raised. How about others? 4, 5. Okay, 5 people have received the email. How many of you know that when the next EC election is happening? Okay, Toastmaster Jitendra, you know when is the election planned for the next term? Would you like to share that?
Mohit, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the exact date, but this is something planning in next week, I believe.
Okay. And does
Shweta
anybody
would like
else
to
know
share.
for sure? Yeah, please go ahead, Shweta.
I'm connected.
It's on the
20th.
20th. Okay, that's another right answer, I believe. Right, Toastmaster Sanjeev, 20th is
Yeah.
sure, right? When we are having the
That's
elections.
right. Yeah. 20th
Okay.
June 2021.
Wonderful. Okay. And that is actually precisely the reason why we are having this session today, so that we can understand what does it mean to become an EC officer? What do you give? What do you get in return? And we'll answer any questions that anybody has. So one last question. I think we already answered this one, that who's the 8th EC officer? It is the IPP, or the immediate past president, who is going to be a part of the EC team in order to support them, guide them, help them in the 6 months journey, right? And who all are the EC officers who are part of the district team? This is open to the current EC team as well, this question. I see Toastmasters Jitender's hand raised. Anybody else would like to answer? From the current EC or from the members? I see Kanika's hand raised as well. Let's go with Toastmaster Kanika.
You are on mute. Kanika, you are on mute.
Audible now?
Yep.
Yeah, so I need to tell that who all are there in the district team.
That's right. Who all among the EC officers are part of the district team?
I am the one.
You are the one. Okay.
Yes. And in the division team, we have more people, if I can. I think, Toastmaster Sanjeev, Toastmaster Mohit. Toastmaster Mohit is not in EC currently, but Toastmaster Sanjeev is there in our division team. So, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, Toastmaster Kanika, I think you are right in saying that these people are already a part of the district team. My question was more around who all among the EC officers are considered to be part of the district team.
Oh, okay. So it's President and the VP Education?
Ah, exactly right. Yes, yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Kanika. You won another prize. So, the President and the VP of Education is considered to be a part of the district team, which is the organization above the club level, right? So you become a part of the district team, which goes all the way up till the Toastmasters International, actually. So sometimes we feel that we are part of a club, and club is all that we have to worry about, and that is all the learnings that we will end up taking. But that's not the case. As a part of the EC team, you are well connected with the district team, which is basically club, area, division, district, and then you have the region and the Toastmasters International. So you are very well connected with the entire district leadership team as well, especially the two roles of VP Education and the President. Okay, let's go ahead, and I would like to first of all clear out some jargons before we go into the actual roles. So we've talked about executive committee. Some people have an abbreviation for it, or a short form for it. They call it XCOM. You would hear the term XCO, club officers, or EC. All of these things mean the same thing. Basically, we're talking about the people who run the club and are part of the executive committee, right? That is what this implies. IPP is immediate past president. So some of these terms might be new to some of you. That's why I thought, let me just clear this out first. Now, see, like I was saying before, we are here for growth, right? And you have jotted down what does growth mean to you. As a part of the executive committee or the club officers, if you take up this role, what do you have to give and what do you get in return? So what you give is commitment, right? You have to give commitment to the club, because the success of the club will depend on how well you are performing in that role and how well you are able to work together with the team of club officers, which is the 8 people who we just talked about, right? So this is what you give. And what you get in return is leadership competency. If you are part of a club officers team, that is one of the best ways to acquire leadership competency. Now, I would like you to take a look at your notes where you jotted down what growth means to you, and see if what you get in return from becoming a Toastmasters club officer, will that help you in your own growth journey? Because that will help you decide whether you want to stand for the elections, whether that will give you what you're looking for, and whether you will be able to give that commitment to the club as well. And if the answer is yes, if you think there is leadership competency will help you in your growth journeys, then I would urge you to stand for this club officer roles. Okay. Now, let me show you a short video, and I would like to share it once again because I want to make sure my audio is also going to be available to you. So let me stop and start sharing once again. Let me know if you can see hear the audio as well. Can you see the slide and the audio?
Only the audio.
No, Mohit.
Oh, okay. So let's just give it one more try and go with the slide only. I hope you were able to see all the slides.
Yep.
Okay, so those are the 7 roles which cover over there, and apart from that, the 8th one is the immediate past president. I would like to take a pause over here to just hear from you if you have any questions or anything that you didn't follow from the expectations from these roles. Any questions? Does that, I hope the slide wasn't too fast. You were able to follow, right? Okay. Okay, great. So let's talk about the current DC. Let me put across some more questions. Who is the current VP of Education in our club?
Shubhangi.
Shubhangi, okay. Who said that? Chetan. Hi. Okay, okay, it's great that you know. So what do you think the Toastmaster Shubhangi does in her role?
She's responsible for the allocation of roles, deciding who all get to do what. So basically, she's responsible for planning the next week's meeting, allocating, who all will be giving speeches, the roles, and everything. And I think she's also responsible for approving the projects that we've been doing online. So she does that as well, I guess. Whenever we are completing our project pathways or we're completing the levels, what if the projects we're completing? So she approves that online.
Okay. Toastmaster Sweta, do you have anything else to add about what Toastmaster Shubhangi does as VP of Education?
I suppose all of this, and also she clarifies everything, whatever we need to do, and we need to definitely report to her if what project and what level we want to give, and she will be assigning the date or the time for us to do that. So this is the addition I would like to do, and rest, I suppose, this.
Okay. And do we think Toastmaster Shubhangi is doing a good job at it? Can we show a thumbs up to her if we think she's doing well? Okay, those are a lot of thumbs up there. Fantastic. Congratulations, Toastmaster Shubhangi. You seem to be doing very well. Let me put a question to you, Toastmaster Shubhangi. What do you learn in the process? What do you think is the one thing that you have acquired being a VP of Education?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you to everyone for showing me a thumbs up. So as a VP Education, I have firstly, I have overcome my lot of fears. One thing that I really wanted to work on is my leadership competency, which I have really improved on. Especially my communication skills as well, how to keep in touch with people, how to maintain the contacts, how to talk with people, everything. My organizational skills, to organize the meetings, the schedule, everything, and many more. So there were even new skills that I acquired that I didn't really expect at the time, but I've acquired them through the journey as working as a VP Education. So yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubhangi. Let's have a round of applause for her. And let's get to the VP of Public Relations. Who is our VP of Public Relations?
Gaurav.
Gaurav is the VP of Public Relations. Okay. And what do you think he does in his role?
So he's responsible for all the posts, I guess, for which goes on Instagram and probably all the other all the public platforms.
Responsible for all the posts that go on all the platforms. Absolutely. Okay. Anything else that anybody else thinks he does in his role?
I suppose to promote and bring in more members by promoting it through different mediums and attracting people to join the club. This is also something you must be doing.
Yeah. Do we have Toastmaster Gaurav here in the meeting? I don't see him. Is he present today?
I think he was there, but maybe he has left.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so I wanted to ask him that question, but let me put that question to Toastmaster Kanika, who's been into public relations for quite some time now. What do you think you get in return by serving as, an officer in public relations, Kanika?
While serving in public relations, it is great. Firstly, you get to interact with a lot of new people. You get to invite people from other members from other Toastmasters club to join in your club's meeting. The interaction part is the socialized one, and promoting your club and your Toastmasters community in general is the best thing you can do in public relations.
How do you think that has helped you in your own sort of growth or career journey, if at all?
For me, it has been just tremendous because the encouraging factor that I got from each and everyone who was supporting me. Only that is the reason that I am confident enough today to make posters and make flyers, and I am on my way to be a social media, obviously, as I told in my last speech, social media manager soon. So the encouraging factor, the encouragement that you get, and you also learn because everyone tell the scope of improvement that you need in a particular thing in an encouraging way. And so I have gained a lot of confidence in that. Yes, and it has helped me a lot.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Kanika. Let's have a round of applause for her. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. What about VP of Membership? Who is our current VP of Membership? Toastmasters Club of West Delhi.
Master Kanika.
I'm sorry?
Toastmaster Kanika.
Toastmaster Kanika.
Toastmaster Kanika.
Okay. It's fantastic. Everybody knows that. Okay.
The first point of contact.
What is she? Sorry, what did you say, Chetan?
I was telling she's the first point of contact for most of us.
Yeah, she's the first point of contact for the new members, and she makes sure that the new members understand what Toastmasters is, what would Toastmasters give them back, right? Things like those. Anything else you think Toastmaster Kanika is doing?
One thing I would like to share about Kanika.
Sure.
Actually, I was while enrolling to Toastmaster International, and I was about to share my screen, but I thought Kanika will be sharing her screen. And it has been 2 minutes, and I really appreciate her patience. And at last, I really appreciate her patience. She was quiet for 2 minutes, thinking that I will be sharing my screen. And at last, she told, "Hello, are you there?" And then I got to realize my mistake, that I should share my screen. And that's very appreciated.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujay. Which meeting was that?
No, it was not a meeting. It was just a normal discussion and over how to enroll myself to Toastmaster International.
It was a one-on-one discussion. Yesterday only it happened that I helped him to make his own login and choose a pathway.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I think becoming a VP of membership teaches a lot of patience and a lot of understanding of the other people. And that's the takeaway if you become the VP of membership. Okay. Kanika, particularly for VP of membership, anything you think, any tangible or intangible thing you acquired as a skill serving as VP membership for last 6 months almost?
Yes, I believe the thing that I have acquired is that I am able to see, I joined this role with a goal that my mentor helped me. Because I was a person who was not able to keep her point of view in front of anybody, because she thought that it will be always wrong. So it was very difficult for me to keep my point of view in front of anybody and talking to new people. I always felt shy, so I went on for this role. I talked to a lot of people, and also another skill that I learned was I definitely started keeping my point of view, and my mentor saw that change in me, and he also said me that you are doing well. And also the another thing is I actually learned the skill of how to align a particular individual's goal with the goal of Toastmasters, so that it can help them to achieve their goal in collaboration with Toastmasters. So this thing I learned.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Toastmaster Kanika, for sharing that. Let's have a round of applause. And I would like to now move ahead to the next role. Let's talk about secretary. Who is our secretary right now?
Toastmaster Vaibhav.
Toastmaster Himanshu.
Toastmaster Himanshu. Toastmaster Vaibhav. Do we have two secretaries?
Yes.
Oh, we have two. Okay. Okay. Does anybody else want to give a try? Who's our secretary? The person who sends out the minutes of the meeting. Have you seen the minutes of the meeting coming out in our WhatsApp group? Who sends that out? Okay, nobody sends it out.
It's Vaibhav.
It is Vaibhav. Okay, it is Vaibhav. Yes, Toastmaster Vaibhav is our current secretary. And he sends out the minutes of the meeting. Let's ask him, Toastmaster Vaibhav, what do you do and how do you think it has helped you in your journey outside of Toastmasters, if at all?
So, sir, basically, as a secretary, my role is to prepare the minutes of the meeting, as you already mentioned. I can understand why most of the people didn't took my name, because last week I missed it. But while preparing the minutes of the meeting, it tests your attentiveness throughout the meeting. Before becoming the secretary, I used to go for a stroll outside and then come after 5 minutes. But now I have to be present for the entire duration of the meeting, prepare the minutes of the meeting, and then while you're preparing the MOMs, you can also display your creativity. You can try out new things with the Canva designs. It's up to you. You can make your posters in PPT or Canva. You can try various stuffs. And as a secretary, you also have to maintain the club's records. Well, that's mainly in the offline meetings, but you can do that while in the online meetings with the help of VP Education as well. So I have had a great time as the secretary of the club. This is all what I've learned during these 5-6 months.
And has it helped you in your like career or role outside of Toastmasters as well?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. My concentration level has increased. I feel I used to jump around all over my house, but now I can sit for 2 hours, as I mentioned earlier. So this has helped me a lot.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Toastmaster Vaibhav. Let's have a round of applause for him.
Thanks.
Let's move on to the role of treasurer. Another mostly back behind the scenes kind of role, but do we know who our treasurer is currently?
Harpreet.
It is Harpreet, absolutely, yes. Harpreet is not present here, but what do you think, Chetan, is his role as a treasurer?
No, yeah, so keeping accounts of all the expenses which are probably happening, budgeting and everything, how the expenses are. So yeah, keeping basically, so he's the accountant of the club.
The accountant of the club, exactly, yes. And what do you think he would be learning as a part of performing this role outside of Toastmasters? Is there anything he would be taking back?
One thing which obviously is there in all the roles, obviously being a part of the team, being a team player, that goes for everyone, right? For all the roles. Specific to his role, yes, probably managing expectations, managing ideas. There may be someone who's suggesting some idea, but whether it is feasible or not. So managing the club at, from a financial perspective.
Right, yeah. And so if you come from a finance background or if you come from a non-finance background, this particular role will help you either ways. Like if you are coming from a non-finance background, it tells you how to improve your financial management skills, and in a very safe environment, right? You can it's not a big it's not a big sums of money that we are referring to over here. You can but at the same time, it is important. Whatever it is still important, and you get all the support system, you get all the training, everything that you need to perform in this role, so you can improve your financial management skills and become good at budgeting at home, or start to look at financial management as a career or improve in that domain. So those are the things that you would learn if you're not coming from the finance background. If you are coming from it, it gives you a place to experiment more, right? It gives you a chance to do things which you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, right? So you can play around a little bit, and Toastmasters give you that flexibility as well.
Yeah.
So that's about.
Yeah, well, yeah. So in fact, I think so. For example, financial management is there in every sphere of your life, right? That's there in every decision that you have to make. So this probably gives you all that kind of flavor. You're handling a team, you're handling everything in a legit manner, but obviously without many risks. So as you mentioned, probably it provides you with it provides you leverage. You can experiment around. It provides you a playing field for a level playing field to experience those things.
Absolutely, yes. Okay, so let's have a round of applause for Harpreet. Even though he's not here, we can do that. Coming on to the sergeant at arms. Who is our sergeant at arms currently?
Toastmaster Moinish.
Toastmaster Moinish.
And it's so nice to see you, Toastmaster Moinish. We've been like searching for you all over. I hope everything is okay with you, personal front.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, it's good to know that, and really, really nice to see you back. Okay, so Mohinish is the sergeant at arms. What does he do in his role? I would like to hear from some people who haven't spoken. Let's say, Abhishek, would you want to share what?
So Sergeant at Arms is basically the first thing that comes is initiating the meeting, and then handling the like handling the meeting space before the meeting. That is two things that comes to my mind with Sergeant at Arms.
Absolutely. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. And like to hear from you, Toastmaster Mohinish, how you think this role has helped you, if at all it has?
Yeah, definitely. This role has helped me. Uh, you know, I can give speeches, prepared speeches anytime, but since as a sergeant at arms, I need to speak. I need to initiate the meeting, and that too a bit more lively, in a lively way, because this is the time when most of the Toastmasters and the guests, they just join, and that is the time to really start the movement and start the meeting with energy, lots of energy. Sometimes you have just gotten up, and it's not like you have washed your face and face yet, and you have to speak with a lot of energy. But this role has given me the opportunity to really speak, just come up and just say the mission of the Toastmaster Club, and that has reflected me in my business and my relationship in my own personal life. And I think I'm able to speak freely now. I just need a bullet points, or I need to think, okay, I need to speak about this, so I can just speak publicly, just like the way I'm speaking right now.
Thank you, Mohinish, and absolutely agree with you. I've seen your confidence increase even further as you perform this role. Thank you for sharing that. Let's have a round of applause for him. And have you missed out on any roles as yet when we were covering everyone in the current EC? What about the CEO of the club, who was the president, right? Toastmaster Sanjeev, right? I think everybody knows the president, but I'm not sure how many of us know what all he does. So let's hear it out from Toastmaster Sanjeev, our president. Like, what do you think you do, right? If you have to summarize it briefly, and how has it helped you?
I think I do nothing. Every work is done by my team. So all the credit goes to them. Or maybe I think what I like to say is, as a president, it's your ownership, or it's your overall ownership to run the club, and you need to ensure that whole of your team is able to work the way they are required to work. So you need to support them in case anyone faces any issue. So I think you have to be there to help them. And another role I'll say is to coordinate or interface with the division or the district level club officers. Like as you see, we have been winning so many awards. So you need to ensure what all are the requirements to do that, and ensure that they are fulfilled into your club. So as you said, Mohit, you rightly pointed out, as a CEO is the overall responsible for the club activities. So whatever good or bad happens in the club, it's the ownership of the president. So it's like the buck stops at his desk. So if anything bad happens, so he is responsible. That's how it is. And basically, I'll say again, you need to support your whole EC team, maintain interface with the officers outside the club, and ensure all the goals that we need to achieve, we are able to do that, or at least work in that direction.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjeev. Let's have a round of applause for Toastmaster Sanjeev. You very beautifully captured everything. And as far as I'm concerned, I've been a Toastmaster for 8 years now. I'm running my 8th year. And I have taken up 8 leadership roles so far. So on an average, one every year. And like Toastmaster Jitendra was mentioning, I'm still continuing on my own leadership journey, because there's so much that I get back in return, right? Some tangible, a lot intangible, but there is a lot that I do get back. It may be a matter of coincidence that when I became VP of Education, that was exactly that same term is when I was able to switch my job after 15 years of almost being stuck in the same job. I was not able to find a breakthrough. I took up a leadership position here, and I was able to move into a different job, which is a lot more satisfying for me. When I became the president, that was when I was able to change my domain into project management. And I owe it a lot to the learnings that I've had from Toastmasters. I've been able to conduct sessions outside of Toastmasters, like where I got paid in return. And that too, all of this happened only when I was able to get out of my comfort zone and take up roles here. People say that it takes time to take up EC roles. But my point of view is that if you look at it in a broader manner, it actually gives you back time, because you have so many resources available to you. You have so many people available to you who come from different walks of life, who bring in a fresh perspective, who help you without getting or expecting anything in return. I have been many times stuck in office or career or even personal situations where I get help from my mentor, who's none other than our Toastmaster Bhavya Mangla. Right? So many times I've gotten help from him. And not only him, but everyone, Toastmaster Renu, Toastmaster Sanjeev, so many other people, Toastmaster Jitendra, they help me in outside of Toastmasters as well. And has only been possible because I was a Toastmaster. That in itself is a huge thing. But more so when I became took up these leadership roles, because the network expands. You become a part of the club, not only this club as a leader, but also you start interacting with other clubs. You start interacting with leaders at the area, division, and district level. So it completely, like, exponentially expands your network, and it helps you in outside of Toastmasters, which is why we are here, right? We are not here to just work for Toastmasters. We are here to learn and get training so that we can apply those skills outside of Toastmasters. And that's what I have gotten personally in return. And like all of us who are present over here, who have taken up the EC officer roles, have mentioned, what they have taken back. These are the transferable skills. Transferable skills are the skills that you learn, and those are portable. You can learn from here, apply it to outside anywhere else also, right? Be it budgeting, be it coaching. As a president, you would become a good coach, right? As a VP education, you start understanding career planning, for example, right? As a VP of membership, you understand say marketing or campaign management. Where if you are taking up the VP of public relations, then you would understand how promotions have to happen. How do you run campaigns, right? As a secretary, you learn about documentation, right? As a treasurer, money management, basically. As a sergeant at arms, you learn how to become a master of ceremonies, like Toastmaster Mohinish was mentioning. He's able to speak so fluently and comfortably now. He's been our master of ceremonies, not only in Toastmasters, but outside too. So those are the things that you take back if you take up these positions. Okay, I would take a pause here to hear from all of you now, if there is any questions, anything that is not clear so far. And from looking at your notes, do you think how many of you would like to take up the EC officer role now? Let's have a show of hands. Okay, I see Sweta's hand, Chetan, Ashima, Sujay, and that's great. That's great. It's great to see some hands coming up. Some people are, their videos are off. I'd like to hear from Vishal, Abhishek, Tanuja, Vaibhav. Would you like to continue on your journey?
I think Sir Chetan is already ready to become president.
That's a great compliment for you, Toastmaster Chetan. Okay. It's good to see that all of us think that the Toastmasters leadership's role would help us in our journeys. And the process, since some of you might be new to this, it's a very democratic process that happens for the elections. And there's a nominating committee which is formed, which will talk to you to help you understand what the role is about and help also look at the fitment, and then they would share the nominations further. But as a first step, you should share your names with the nominating committee, which is Toastmaster Bhavya, Toastmaster Mohit, which is myself, and Toastmaster Karishma. These three are the part of the nominating committee, right? Toastmaster Sanjeev, I hope I'm not missing out on anyone.
No,
okay.
No, that's right.
Last date for sending your nominations is
15th.
The 15th is the last date. So if you haven't done that as yet, then I would suggest that you do it right away without thinking too much. Just go for it. And if just so you know, you can also stand from the floor, right? Which means that if you want to go for it, you haven't been able to make up your mind and you want to stand from the floor, you could even do that. But still, if you want to learn the entire process and want to gain from this, then do send your nomination now before the 15th. What would happen then is that the nominating committee would speak with you. You would go through a sort of an interview process, which in itself is a huge learning. So you should not miss that opportunity to talk to senior people, and it would be a step in that direction of taking up the EC role. And in terms of the criteria, anybody who's a member can stand for any of the EC roles, right? We would have elections happen. Everybody who's a member would cast their votes on the 20th for each of those roles. And we need to have a minimum quorum of 50% of the current active members present when the elections happen. So we have to make sure that we all are present over here. If we are a member, it is our duty to be present for the voting. So make sure you block your time, and you have to be present from beginning till end. So make sure you do that next week. And apart from that, once you become the EC officer, right? Some of you might be thinking that, maybe I know that it'll have a lot for me to take back, but will I have enough support mechanism? Maybe I don't know a lot of things. I'm new to Toastmasters. So if you're thinking about that, then I have to tell you that there is a detailed club officers training that happens once you become the EC, right? Once you pick up a particular role, if you are the president, then it would talk just about the president, what all it takes. A detailed training would happen. And similarly, for each and every role, there would be a training that happens. You would be given a club leadership handbook, which will be your reference manual for your term to guide you and help you if people ask you questions, you will have that as a handy reference. And you will have a formal support throughout the term from the immediate past president. And not only that, you would have ongoing support from other past EC officers. We have so many past EC officers, Toastmaster Bhavya Mangla, Toastmaster Jitendra, who have been presidents in the past. And there are many who are not present today. And all of them are going to be available to you for any support that you might need in your journey. You would also have your mentors to help you out. So that complete support mechanism will be there. So don't feel that it is, I'll be alone or I may not have all the support needed. So that brings me to the end of this session. But I would like to hear, I see Toastmaster Sujay's hand going out, and I'll take one or two questions. Otherwise, I will, after that, I'll be happy to take questions offline. Let's check with Toastmaster Sujay. Did you have a question, or were you raising the hand because the time is running out?
No, actually the time is running out.
Okay, okay, sure. Did anybody else have any questions before we close? Before Toastmaster Sujay kills me?
When are we expecting to have live meetings?
It's like, your guess is as good as mine. I don't think it's a very good idea to, start that at the moment, even though we all would love to, enjoy a physical, meeting. If that you are referring to a physical meeting, right? In person. Yeah. We all crave for that. We are longing for that. But let's hold on for some time, let the corona settle down. That's my view. I don't know, Toastmaster Sanjeev, if you had any dates in mind.
No, I think so. No, I don't have any dates. In fact, if you know, we had already started with the physical meeting from January. We had 3 physical meetings. And in fact, I had negotiated for 2 physical meetings per month from April onwards with the facility. But then because of the surge, we had to stop it altogether. But I hope if the way the improvement is happening, maybe by somewhere around next month, we should be able to do it. Hopefully. Again, fingers crossed. Means we can't commit right now, but we need to wait for it to stabilize a bit, and then I think we should plan.
Any other questions, particularly about the EC officers, elections or role? Any doubts anyone has? Okay. If not, then I would like to.
Maybe Mohit, I'd just like to add one thing regarding standing from the floor. So, in case you are not able to make up your mind till 15th and suddenly decide to stand from the floor on 15th, please ensure that there is somebody backing you up on that day. So there has to be somebody seconding you. So please ensure there is someone who backs you up.
Sure. Yeah, Toastmaster Jitendra has a question.
Yes. Not question. I think I was disconnecting in between. So just wanted to make sure, do we have covered that 2 minutes speech criteria?
Okay. Yeah. We haven't covered that. So if you decide to stand for the PC officer's role, you will have to prepare a 2 minutes speech and then give it to everybody who's present, basis which they would consider and cast their votes. So do prepare a 2 minutes speech, and all this would even if you're standing from the floor or standing through the nominating committee, either ways you have to give a 2 minute speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Jitendra, for
and one more thing, in case because of some emergency reason you are not able to appear in person to the meeting, so you can record your 2 minutes speech and send it to the nominating committee. So we will play it for you, and based on that speech, members can vote for you.
Right. Okay. If no other questions, then I'll close it here. If you have anything else, then we can always reach me or the nominating committee, and we will be happy to answer your question. Thank you and all the best. Back to the president, Toastmaster Sanjeev.
Kanika.
Okay.
It's Kanika's day.
I think Kanika got disconnected due to connectivity issues. She just put a message on WhatsApp group.
Okay. So maybe Timur, Jitu, I think you can then do the closing remarks about the meeting. Jitu, we still need to close. I think some voting is also left for the best Sterling role player and I guess evaluators. Is that done?
Yes, sir. Evaluators are done.
Okay.
I
We
think
have
he
to do
got
it for the
disconnected.
Sterling roles. Jitendra, are you there?
Sanjeev, I think you can continue. There is some problem with him.
Yes, Bhavya, sir. Thank you for notifying that. I'm also getting connectivity issue. So you can
Okay.
continue.
Now we have to do the voting for the Sterling role player as well. I guess that is not done. Vishal, is that
Yes.
done?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, it's done. Thank you.
I think voting is done, Sanjeev, sir.
Is it done? Okay.
Yep. We can take feedback from our guest regarding the meeting.
Okay, who else is there? We have Toastmaster Tanuja. Sorry, guest Tanuja. So, Tanuja, did you introduce yourself in the beginning?
Yes, I did.
So maybe you can share some feedback now. Like, how did you find the meeting? Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, it's absolutely great. And it's like a wonderful time on a Sunday. I come to know very new words which I can use further. That's it from my side. And I might want to be continue for other meetings too. That's it from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Tanuja. Do we have anyone else? No, I think
Shalu Singh is there.
she is the member now.
Yes, she is member.
Okay, before we conclude, and I just want to make some few more things, primarily with respect to elections, as Mohit already explained. We are going to have the elections on 20th, and all of us need to be present. So please do nominate yourself. If you want, I can again send out the notification on your individual WhatsApp IDs. So you can also look for all the roles and the description on the Toastmasters International website. So the link that I'll be sharing has got all the details. And I'll request everyone to please nominate yourself. And let me tell you, as we say Toastmasters, it's both about public speaking and leadership. So you need to learn both hand in hand. And working for a AC role is one of the best ways to learn leadership. In fact, I forgot in my when Mohit asked me what I learned. So here you learn the true leadership. Like in office or a corporate setting, it's a forced manager kind of a setup where there is a formal authority. But here you learn the true leadership at Toastmasters, where nobody is in your direct line of authority or your direct subordinate. So I'll say it's a wonderful platform for learning leadership, and will suggest that every one of you who can devote some time should nominate yourself. Okay, now coming to the results. So do we want to take any guesswork? So starting with the best auxiliary role player, who do you think is the best auxiliary role player?
Toastmaster Shweta.
Yes,
Toastmaster
that
Shweta.
goes to Toastmaster Shweta. I think that's wonderful, Shweta taking the role for the first time and winning it. Okay.
Thank you.
For the evaluator, since there was a disqualification, we have only one entry. So that is Toastmaster Abhishek. Congratulations, Abhishek.
I think, sir, it was Toastmaster Gaurav. Who should be winning.
Sir.
Sorry. Maybe I read the message wrong. Okay, yes, sorry. My apologies. It was Toastmaster Gaurav, who is the best evaluator. Coming to the best Sterling role player.
Toastmaster Jitendra.
Yes, undoubtedly.
Toastmaster Weber.
Okay, but I don't know how the scoring happened, but it goes to Toastmaster Jitendra. I think that was a wonderful storytelling that you started with. Congratulations. And the best speaker goes to fill in the blanks. Toastmaster Chetan. Yes, it goes to Toastmaster Chetan. Congratulations, Chetan, for that.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Okay, with this, we can formally close down the meeting today and see you all there next weekend on the election day, Sunday, 20th June. And do nominate yourself.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
And in case if anyone has questions, as customary, I'll stay back with you, EC team members, if they want to stay back. And Mohit, if I can request you as well for another 5-10 minutes. So
Yeah,
still,
sure.
in case anyone has few questions about elections, we can still clarify it.
Absolutely, yes.
Sanjeev sir, actually, I'm still confused about the last week's certificates. I mean, Sumangi sent me those certificates. I think they were a bit different to what we issue out in our regular meetings for the joint meeting certificates, right?
If that group is still active, why don't you directly speak to Toastmaster Jitendra from TCS Club, or I'll
So
send you his contact.
So she had a chat with Toastmaster Jitendra of TCS Club, and the certificates were a bit different. So I wanted to ask, I'll get these certificates from the TMI website, or will be the regular certificates?
No, certificates are a bit different. Means have they prepared the certificate?
Yes, sir. She sent me a sample of one certificate, and I found them to be a bit different. And I remember from the FMS meeting as well, they were in the regular certificates. They were different. So probably Moinish can also now chip in.
Maybe Vaibhav, you share the certificate format on the EC group, and if it's okay, we'll just publish it.
Okay, sure.